Jeffcoat, who had 3.5 sacks in the first game against Philadelphia, now the 11.5 for the year.
Here we see the play now. He goes back into the pocket. 4 people out. Look at Jones, number 72. Goes around the outside, and inside comes Jim Jeffcoat, number 77, and nails him for the sack.
Jeffcoat has been slowed with an ankle. He told us this week, though, he feels the best he's felt in some time. A first-round draft pick in 1983. It's going to bring up 3rd and 17.
Now they got a 40 defense with 4 linemen and 7 defensive backs, and this is what they don't like to see because there's so many variations as far as coverage is concerned.
Cavanaugh trying to hit Greg Garrity. No connection at the 40-yard line. The Eagles going to have to get rid of the football. And so the first series does not materialize. After picking up that initial first down, they go backwards. And Cavanaugh, Hank, needs some good experiences. He did not play well here last time against the Cowboys. He was 3 of 10 for 32 yards and finally was taken out of the game.
That time he had enough time to hit Garrity on the inside move, and it was really wide open against their 7 defensive backs. He just threw the ball poorly.
John Telchik will punt for the Eagles, and going back deep is Gordon Banks for Dallas. Just underway, first quarter. The snap by Adam Schreiber is there. A flag on the play, a very fine punt. Driving, Banks inside the 15-yard line, and he'll be dropped there. But as we mentioned, there is a penalty flag.
Todd Latassi, the receiver on the outside, the wide guy, number 37, started prematurely, and that's why there's a penalty on the play.
And we've got a fight going on now. There's Charles Crawford, 45, some shoving back there. That was a 45-yard punt that time by Telchik. He had it high, good hang time. Well, let's see what the penalty's all about.
Well, it's on Todd Latassi. They're going to bring it back.
Bob Frederick in charge of the game. And so they'll have to come back and do it again. They would have had him at the 15-yard line. Instead, they'll have to punt again. Both these teams have been penalized a lot this year coming in. Number 1 and 2 in the NFC.
Todd Latassi that time was split way out to the left, and he had 2 men on him, and he didn't know what to do, whether to go back inside tight or stay out there, and in the process.
Illegal motion, number 37 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down, will be repeated.
See, there was some indecision as to what he should do, and as a result, he made a movement, and then he realized it was too late. He had tried to get back. He's out there all by himself, no place to hide. They caught him in the act.
And so Telchik will have to do it again. He comes in here 6th in the NFC. Earlier this year against Dallas, John had an outstanding game. He averaged 45.7, had a long of 62 yards. So this time, you'll go back to the 20-yard line, and he'd like to duplicate that 45-yarder a moment ago. And there is Banks.
Well, they got 6 guys rushing the kicker, just getting a return ready.
He hit it high. Coming up is Banks. He makes the catch at the 32. So instead of starting from the 15-yard line, they'll start from the 32. That was a 33-yard punt. Steve Pulur will replace Danny White after he broke his wrist. Will come in now. Pulur, the 3rd-year man out of the University of Washington, will face a defensive line that's coming on, and one of the big reasons is Reggie White. He's as good as anybody playing the NFL right now with 14 sacks. Clark is very solid. Linebacking, Reichenbachen, he calls the defensive signals. Seth Joyner, the rookie, his 5th straight start today. And in the secondary, a change. Albert Bowles, for the 2nd week, will start in place of Evan Cooper. Cooper has been slowed with problems, knee-wise. Boynell Young having an outstanding game at the cornerback spot. At the 32 now, 1st down, Dallas. Fleur on that play action's got time. Out it comes to Herschel Walker, and Walker has a 1st down to the 45-yard line. Terry Hogue making the stop. Walker now with his 64th catch of the year, a 12-yard pickup. There now is what Pulur has to work with, and that is an outstanding skilled group. Walker and Dorsett, Hill and Sherrard. You won't find a better combination anywhere. Up front, they've had a lot of problems, especially at offensive tackle. Touine has now given them some stability at that left side. Kerr is considered to be their best offensive lineman. On a 1st down, here comes Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett will go for a couple of yards to the 47, 2nd down and 8.
You know, the first defensive alignment, they were in a 3-4-36 with everybody in tight. And I think talking to the Cowboys, and I think anytime that you play the Eagles, with those 3 guys right on the center and the 2 guards, you have to make sure that you do a good job of blocking them and keeping them on the line of scrimmage. They did that successfully with the first play action pass.
Cleveland, who could clinch the division title if they'd hang on and win that one. Hank, it's tough to run against the Eagles, isn't it?
It really is. It surely is.
On a 2nd and 8 now. Receivers wide left and wide right. To the near side of Sherrard. Pallure. Headed this way, and it's going to be out of bounds, I believe. Trying to make the catch was Tony Hill in the vicinity of the 20-yard line. Good coverage that time by the Eagles. Fouls in particular. Number 29 was over there.
We'll take another look to make sure his feet are in or out. They're definitely out. One was in, one was out. Good in college, but not here today.
Fouls, as we said, replacing Cooper at that cornerback spot. He was expected to be a starter at the beginning of the year, reported late because of contract difficulties.
You don't think that the Cowboys would be nasty enough to try to attack fouls a lot here this afternoon, would you?
Is that a hint or a clue or what? 3rd down now, 8 to go for Dallas. Newsome in the ball game, along with Herschel Walker. From the shotgun goes Pallure.
They got a 4-man line on defense, the Eagles I'm talking about.
Renfro went in motion. Pallure with time. On target to Newsome. Jimmy Newsome, excellent receiver coming out of that backfield. Makes the catch at the 42, another 1st down.
They had the matchup they wanted that time. Cobb was covering on the play, man for man. That's what you want. From a receiver standpoint, plenty of time. The key again, they did not get penetration. Throws the ball out into the left flat, and he makes Timmy Newsome makes the catch and goes out of bounds. Watch the pressure on Pallure. Reggie White, 92. Brown, number 98. And they finally get him, but after he gets rid of the football and they make the completion.
Boy, that Reggie White's a handful, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
So 42 now, 1st down.
They play him on the nose, they play him at left end, they play him at right tackle.
Here's Herschel Walker. Walker will go inside the 40-yard line to the 37, gain of 5. Timmy Newsome throwing a good block. Herschel Walker, Hank, is playing really a position that he's not that familiar with, the fullback spot. Explain what he goes through playing fullback as opposed to tailback.
Well, the big difference is the depth of the position. As a fullback, you're back there 4.5 to 5 yards deep, and you don't get nearly the read opportunities that you do from the I formation. And basically, he is an I formation runner. When he's in the I formation, he's back there 7 or 8 yards deep, plus the fact that he's got a fullback out in front leading him. So it's a dramatic difference playing the fullback spot in the I formation compared to being the tailback in the I.
2nd down now, a short 5 to go. So we move around, Dorsett, Walker behind Pallure. This is Tony. Dorsett will make it to the 35-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of the 1st down. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Hank, I think one of the big difficulties and one of the big debates going on is whether you can have Walker and Dorsett in the same backfield. There's somewhat of a dilemma there.
Well, it really is, because, you know, both people are used to carrying the ball 25 to 30 times a game, especially Walker, and now they've reduced that number of carries to 10 and 11 on average for the 2 backs, and it's not enough. They realize it's not enough, but it's hard to figure out what they're going to do with it.
There's a good example of what you're talking about, Hank. Averaging 10 carries a game.
Yeah, great backs like to run the football. I don't care how you slice it, and that's what they have to do more of.
On a 3rd and 3, Pallure, boy, he takes a shot as he tries to dive for the 1st down. I don't think he got it. Andre Waters, who plays like a linebacker at that strong safety spot, up to make the tackle.
Watch Pallure roll to the right. Good protection up in front. Gets a containment block on the defensive end. Just enough room to get outside. And Andre Waters, number 20, finally comes up and makes the tackle. But it looks like it's a little short.
It is. It's 4th down, a good yard to go. And the Cowboys are indicating they're going to go for it. Tom Landry talking about the fact they lost those close ones to the Giants and Redskins. Then they lost Danny White, Walker, Dorsett were hurt, and kind of took the heart out of our ball club.
We saw the Raiders in the same situation go for the 1st down and didn't succeed, remember?
Yep, 4th down, a long yard to go. Osby comes in motion. Straight ahead football that time, Timmy Newsome. Needs to get just short of the 32-yard line to pick up a 1st down, and they're going to unpile there and see where that football ended up. Eagles are indicating they stopped him. They're going to have to measure. They cannot sight it in, so they'll bring it in to see if, in fact, they do have the first down.
And interesting enough, they talked about Tuane, what a great job he has done. They ran right over him that time and Titansur, and we'll see if they make the first down. It's going to be very close.
On a fourth down, a little more than a yard, they didn't get it. They did not make it. And on fourth down, the Eagles able to hold. And Hank, that's what we talked about. You try to run against Buddy Ryan's defense, and a yard's hard to get. And there was a good example of it. And so the Eagles hold. They'll have the football. We'll be back. No score from Texas Stadium. Cavanaugh to throw on first down, and that one is poorly thrown. Trying to hit Kenny Jackson. Jackson's had a tough tank right now. Cavanaugh does not throw that ball very effectively. He's struggling.
It looks like he's hurrying himself a little bit. Gary, on the last two plays that were thrown poorly, I think he threw before he really had to throw. He had more time to throw it to get set, throw, and follow through, and that's why he's thrown two bad passes.
Game earlier this year, he was ineffective. 3 of 10 for 32 yards. Eventually, Cunningham came in and replaced him. He was starting when Jaworski had been hurt.
They got an advantage coming out to the right side if they come. Here they come.
Second and 10, Byers looking for some running room. Nice cutback by Keith Byers, and he is very close to a first down out to the 42. Ron Fellows made the stop. Your great runners, they see things, don't they? And here's Byers for a 9-yard pickup.
Well, the great thing, they see a lot of things from the I formation. He's back there about 8 yards deep, and look at what happens. Conwell pulls on the play. The play is designed to get outside. Tony makes a great block again on the defensive back. He cuts back into the middle area. Look at the drive and the follow through. What a good finishing runner he is, and he makes that very close to the first down in that play.
When you weigh about 235 pounds, you can finish well. Now they're indicating by measurement they are short. Hank, what's interesting to me about Byers is a week ago, Buddy Ryan sat down with him, went over his films when he played at Ohio State, in particular that game against Illinois where he just ran all over the place. And it seemed to spark this guy a little bit.
Well, I think basically, his answer, I said, what did you say to the coach when you saw the film? He said, I can't see much different except in that game I carry the ball 35 times. I have to carry the ball a lot to be efficient. So far, I'm averaging about 9 carries a game. That's the difference. This kid is a great running back, and great runners have to run, and they get better and better and better as they go along, and they're much better in the fourth quarter than they are in the first. See, now they got Bates out of here again with a tight end split way to the other side.
That's Tony in motion. Cavanaugh on a 3rd and 1, and that's going to be tough. I don't know that he got that. Boy, it's been tough in this first quarter to get the short yardage. Earlier, the Cowboys on a 4th and 1 not converting, and Cavanaugh could not find a gap to go to on that particular quarterback sneak.
I think, too, the quarterback has to be a little bit patient to make sure he sees he gets some kind of a surge, and then after he sees some movement, to then make the aggressive shot behind that left guard or left tackle. That time it looked like he left a little quicker than he should. But basically, I think the rule of thumb from a coaching standpoint is that if it's a yard or more, you're going to kick it. If it's less than a yard, you're going to probably run a quarterback sneak, which they did that last time, or they'll run it with a back if it's a yard or more.
Well, they got it, but not by a lot. So Cavanaugh has the first down out to the 43-yard line.
I think the other thing is very important when you play the Cowboys, Gary. I think it's much better to run at them, take good splits and run at them, because they react and pursue so well. And I think probably that's the best course of action to follow as we go along from an offensive standpoint with the Eagles this afternoon.
Cincinnati's added a field goal in that important AFC Central Division battle. Straight ahead. That'll bring it out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 3. Anthony Tony carrying the ball. Tony is the guy last week that had 74 yards. It's been a combination, Hank. It hasn't been just Byers, but this guy has really helped Byers with his blocking.
Well, I talked to Ernie Stotner on the field before the game, the defensive coordinator, and he said, I tell you, the guy that's really tough and really comes at you very aggressively is Tony. And so the other guy will hit into the hole and find running room and then pop for big gains. But Tony is going to smash in there tough and hit you and carry you through right through the hole.
2nd down, 7. Tony with his 4th straight start today for Philadelphia. Cavanaugh,
Blitz.
quick drop. Oh, as he belted. He had no chance because Michael Downs, coming from the free safety spot, poured through, and Cavanaugh hit and drop at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Watch Michael Downs, number 26, come through the gap between the left guard and the right and the center. Nobody blocks him, and he gets a free shot at the quarterback. Watch Bill Bates, number 40, is coming, and also Downs. And Downs makes the contact, and Bates finishes up after he's down on the ground. But you have to anticipate that, call it automatic, and be able to block those two guys who are in a gap between both guards.
96 sacks now given up. They've given up 41 in the last 4 games. Cavanaugh down twice in the early going. 3rd down, 13. Cavanaugh wide open is Tony. Tony to the 20, to the 15, and he's all the way to the 13-yard line, and he could not have been more wide open. Jesse Penn eventually caught him. That's a 47-yard pass completion.
He ran a flat and up, and Jesse Penn was playing a man for man. He goes out in the flat and then breaks up the field. Penn anticipated the ball being thrown in the flat. Look at him. He's way behind him. Finally, Penn chases him, and he's slowed down a little bit by Fellows, and he's finally tackled from the backside by Jesse Penn. But a beautiful play and a big play.
Tony showing he can catch the football as well. He had 11 catches prior to that one, a 47-yard gain now to the 13-yard line. Moves at this time close to the 10-yard line. That's Tony. Randy White, 54, making the stop, and it'll bring up 2nd down there and 7 to go.
I think Buddy Ryan and his coaching staff have done a great job. Ted Plum, from an offensive standpoint, to get Bates out of the game. They're splitting their tight end, Spagnuolo, way outside of the flanker to get Bates out of the force area, and as a result, he's really not in the game. They're trying to make him get outside, so he's going to be a cover guy instead of a linebacker or a strong safety, and it's been very effective.
They mark it at the 11, so it'll be 2nd and 8 now for Philadelphia. 5 minutes to go. First quarter, no score. Tony and Byers behind Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh with time, and out of the back of the end zone, Garrity, the intended receiver. There is a penalty flag.
Garrity was moving on the play, Gary, and as a result, it'll be a penalty.
Yeah, he wasn't set, Hank. He came over, did get in that stance before the ball was snapped.
He didn't look like he knew exactly where he was supposed to line up. He lined up inside, then came outside and didn't make the allotted period of time, and as a result was caught for movement on the play.
As you would say, Hank, that's murder when you get inside the 15-yard line and have those kind of problems.
Illegal motion, number 86 on the offense. The penalty will be declined, and it will be...
It'll be 3rd down, Bob. Had to look over the far sideline. It'll be 3rd down and 8. But again, I mentioned both these teams have been penalized for over 800 yards this year. Buddy Ryan's inexperienced team making a mistake there. Line of scrimmage, still the 11th. Cavanaugh to Byers. Breaks that first tackle and makes something out of nothing, a penalty flag. He's dropped inside the 10. That's what he'll do, is make that first man miss you. Byers did that, converted it into maybe a 3-yard gain, but again, we have another penalty. Going to go against Philadelphia. Got to drive a coach crazy to be moving the ball the way they are and then to go backwards by penalty. But he said prior to that Raider game they won in overtime, we found so many ways to lose football games. Last week he said we were acting like we were a Super Bowl team, didn't have good practice, tied the Cardinals.
Illegal use of the hands by the offense, number 62. The penalty will be declined, and it will be 4th down.
You know, that's the toughest thing for a young football team to be able to do, and that is to be able to stand prosperity.
Yep. You said that many times. You don't deal with reality sometimes, do you?
No, that you start walking a dog, and the next thing you know, you think you got the next game won too because you won last week, and you blow it again. See?
This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt. Now McFadden is effective from this range. When he gets outside 40 yards, he's in trouble. Celtic to hold. Paul McFadden's kick is on the way, and the Eagles are on the scoreboard. Philadelphia takes a 3-0 lead. 4 minutes, 36 seconds to go in the first quarter. 40 now. He is 16 of 18, but Hank, he'd missed 8 straight outside the 40-yard line.
Well, I think, Gary, that's basically a schoolhouse thing, a mental thing, and you have to, as a coaching staff, anticipate that happening, and so as a result, you have to spend a lot of time before, so he doesn't get into a slump, with watching him, making him look at films, making him be in crucial situations in practice to make sure that he is always aware of where his left foot is and where his basic qualities have to be. And if you do that, I don't think you have a trouble with slumps.
Robert Levette on this kickoff return. Good coverage by the Eagles as he'll be dropped at the 18-yard line. That's Charles Crawford down to make the stop. So Dallas finds themselves trailing 3-0. We're going to be back in just a moment. Goal by Paul McFadden leading at 3-0. It's Steve Pallure, who has been pressed into the starting role when Danny White went down in the first quarter of the 9th game. He's posted a 1-5 record since that time. He had been playing very well, Hank, in a relief role, but when you become a starter every week, it changes the complexion.
Well, it does, but I think, you know, really, in all fairness to Pallure, I think he started off very well when he had everybody working together and everybody healthy, and then when they dropped off, well, then his efficiency dropped off too.
Oh, boy. Guess who that is? Reggie White, number 92. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon that time, and that's the reason he is just as good as anybody's playing right now in the NFL.
Well, the great thing about him is, now here he is on the nose of the center. Watch Reggie White. Rafferty is trying to block him. He gets in the outside shoulder of Rafferty, gets penetration. He's in good control, good balance, and he makes a sack on Pallure. But that's a great effort again by Reggie White, number 92, who plays left end sometimes and plays on the nose of the center on other occasions.
Cowboys have given up the second most sacks in the NFC, and add another in there. White storming through. Here's Pallure giving off to Dorsett after that 8-yard loss. Here he comes out to the 25. Tony will be short of the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Roynell Young, 43, over to make the stop for Philadelphia. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Watch the great running ability of Tony Dorsett. Look, he goes right at the line of scrimmage and then veers to the outside. Newsom makes a good play, a good block out in front. He jumps to the outside, Dorsett, and in the open field, he's very difficult to tackle. And of course, the great thing about that run, he's got terrific vision.
15-yard pickup. They talk about Walker being the power runner and Dorsett the escape guy. Pretty good combination to have. 3rd down 3 now for Dallas, just across the 25-yard line. 3-0 Philadelphia. Walker comes in motion. Pallure with some time. Walker, the intended receiver. And it's going to be knocked down. Andre Waters defending on the play. And it'll bring up a 4th down. Pallure can throw the deep ball very well. He definitely has the arm. He does not, Hank, have the ability that Danny White has right now. That's to get rid of the ball quickly and to spot those guys and get out of difficulty. He'll take the sack sometimes.
Well, I think Danny White has great knowledge of defenses, and plus the fact he gets rid of the ball quickly. And in critical situations, he's smart enough to get rid of the football. He doesn't get sacked, which is very, very important.
I think when Pallure started getting sacked, too, he started hanging on the ball a little longer than he was earlier.
Well, I think the coaches said the other day that they got on him for throwing a couple of interceptions, and then he got to he went the other way. He held on to the ball too long.
Here is Mike Saxon with his first punt. Garrity's going to let it hit, and the ball is going to be down at about the 40-yard line. So the Eagles will have it, a 34-yard punt that time by Mike Saxon. We'll be back with the Eagles leading at 3-0. So the 3-0 lead. Matt Cavanaugh, who the Eagles acquired this year from the 49ers for a 3rd-round pick in '86 and a 2nd-round pick in '87, really has not been well received in Philadelphia. Hank, I thought you had a good point. He's probably better off playing on the road right now until he gets some confidence.
Oh, I think that in this situation, no question about it. He's, you know, away from home. He doesn't have to worry about it. And he can be a little bit more relaxed and know that there won't be any pressure on him if he throws a bad ball. I mean, that's true of most quarterbacks who haven't played a lot and who are not in good graces with the home fans.
Not in good graces, son. 1-4 thus far, and Byers wants to throw the football, and he can't get rid of it. Now, Byers, you might recall, threw a 55-yard touchdown pass against the Rams earlier this year. Randy White, though, didn't give him a chance to throw it.
Well, I think the thing that happened, too, the last time they didn't set the play up well enough. Conwell is out in front blocking on the linebacker, but they ran that play once with a sweep to the outside, with Byers running the ball with the hope that they could maybe get Bates to come up and play the run and throw behind him, but they didn't run it often enough to fool Bates, and that's why he had no chance whatsoever to make the play.
2nd down, 9. Now, Byers is left hand. When he threw that touchdown pass, Hank, he ran left.
That's right.
A little harder to throw it running right. Cavanaugh back. Protection breaking down. Scrambling out. Randy White giving chase. It's going to be a 1st down for Cavanaugh as he goes out of bounds at the Dallas 48. And Cavanaugh showing some escapability there. 11-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, he ran a lot faster, which is typical of what happens when somebody's chasing you. It's amazing how fast you can run.
The fear that sets in, right? The old adrenaline. 11-yard scamper by Cavanaugh. Maybe he's learned something from watching Cunningham this year.
Well, the great thing about it is he made a quick decision. He didn't dance around in the backfield and try to make a decision. He took off and ran when he saw the opening, and as a result, it was a nice play and a big gain.
11-yard gain to the 48 now of Dallas. Thus far, the Eagles are winning the field position battle. And they have a 3-0 lead.
Now they're going to run straight ahead, probably. Yes, they do.
The guy that's doing it is Tony, and very little going there because Randy White, who's been an all-pro in 8 straight years, is able to drop him. No gain on the play.
Watch Randy White, number 54, gets to the inside of his block of Hayden. He gets into the gap, and as a result, the ball carrier, Tony, does not have any place to go. Get him in the backfield and lose yardage on the play.
He leads the defensive line in tackles. 5.5 sacks coming in here. 106 straight starts for the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd down, 10. Tony goes in motion. Fires with the football. Big hole. And he uses it to good advantage to the 42. Mike Hegman, 58, made the stop. I'll tell you, Hank, Byers looks a lot quicker to me than when we saw him earlier in the year. He's coming off the football right now.
Well, I think it's a combination. I think that time he had some running room, and that always makes a big difference. We kidded him about looking at that Illinois-Ohio State film, and I said, really, what was the difference? And he laughed, and he said, the line blocking was great. I had places to run, and on that particular play, he had a place to run. And I think anytime, like, there's no magic involved in it. You're going to make yardage if they block up front. If they don't, you're in trouble.
3rd down and 4 now for the Eagles. Last second changes defensively now for Dallas. Cavanaugh looking far side. Tony, he's going to try to get the 1st down. He did not. He's just short. That was a tough catch because I think the ball was on him before he spotted it. One-hand snag of it. Then he tried to get to the forward part of the chain and just missed that.
Well, Randy White got penetration and made him throw the ball before he actually wanted to, and that's why the ball wasn't thrown as accurately as he wanted to throw it. That was really the problem. Randy White, number 54, and he's given Hayden an awful lot of trouble. Nick Hayden, number 62, the left guard, is having a lot of trouble blocking Randy White, and of course he joins the club. There's a lot of people in the league that have that problem.
That's been going on, Hank, for 12 years.
Yep.
33 years of age. I don't think White slowed down much from what I've seen in this 1st quarter. Telchik to punt the football. That's Banks going back to the 10-yard line. 3-0 Philadelphia. Telchik hits it very high. Oh, is this a remarkable effort? What placement by Telchik. However, there is a penalty play. The ball is inside the 1-yard line. That was beautifully executed by Telchik, and William Frizzell was down there to down the football inside the 1. Now, I think it's going to come back. Let's see.
The flag will be picked up. There was no foul. Be a 1st down and 10.
So Frizzell is able to come up with it. Looking ahead now to next week here on CBS, as Telchik has to be very happy that he's been voted the most valuable player on the special teams for the Eagles. We'll have the Packers going against the Giants. The Giants, of course, clinching that NFC East yesterday when Washington lost at Denver. That's 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern time. And then that'll be followed by the Fighting Illini of Illinois against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Ken Norman, outstanding center for Illinois. North Carolina with that backcourt tandem, which is outstanding, and Kenny Smith and Jeff Lebo. 2:45 Central, 3:45 Eastern time. That's next Saturday here on CBS. Telchik has really been an addition to this Eagle team. He's punted the ball well, and he downed that one beautifully. Inside the 1.
It's a good time to try to go up on top on a big play. Let's see if they do.
That's what they're going to try, Coach. You called it. LaFleur can't find anybody. Going to take off. He just got out of the end zone. Ken Clark giving chase. And Pretty good job by Pallure avoiding a safety on that particular play. The crowd feeling Pallure was hit a little bit late. Let's pick it up again. It was Ken Clark, 71, giving chase.
Here he throws a play-action fake, faking to Dorsett. He decides to try to get out to the outside because the coverage is very good. He goes to the outside, and look at Clark grabbing for him, and Joyner just pushes him out of bounds. That's all that happened.
Well, the replay here still drawing some of the Cowboy fans' ire, but there'll be no penalty. It'll bring up second down and still 3 yards to go. Pretty good scrambling job that time, Hank, by Pallure.
Yeah, one thing you have to do, you have to keep him in the pocket. And on the other side of the football, you got to try to get Kavanaugh out of the pocket. That's the difference in the two personalities of the two quarterbacks. Too much time.
We're going to have a delay of game. 5-yard penalty against Dallas. Took too long.
On the offensive team, half the distance.
It'll be half the distance, of course, being inside the 10. But again, that's the kind of breakdown you don't need when you're trying to get out of the shadows of that goalpost.
You know, the amazing thing, talking to Tom Landry, and he talked about momentum, and yet talking to the players, invariably, they talk about confidence. You know, they said that we've lost our confidence, and we just don't seem to be in sync, and we just can't seem to get things going. And for that reason, it's a problem. But it's amazing to think that after the way the Cowboys have won on such a consistent basis, that they would have a confidence problem.
That's what we're talking about, Hank. Over 800 yards now in penalties. Well, with some of that leadership, I think, that Danny White was providing, they're missing.
Let's see if they try to go up. Oh, they're trying to go outside this time.
Dorsett breaks out of there. You know what that reminded me of, Hank? Remember that 99-yard run he had one time on a quick pitch? Cosby threw a big block. That's a 12-yard pickup, and they have a first down.
That's the thing about Dorsett. You watch him go to the outside. Herschel Walker running to the right side is the lead blocker, and he gets a kick-out block on the linebacker, and he goes to the outside. And finally, and Cosby does a nice job of blocking upfield.
He's one of those guys who you'll hand off to when you're running deep in your own end zone. He can make it happen, can't he?
Well, that's the thing. He makes the sparks fly, and anytime that he carries the ball, there's always a chance for a big play.
You don't have to go up top, as you said. Just hand it to... season record for the Cowboys of Tony Dorsett, who had 12. His 12th rushing touchdown of the year, 84 yards. Now, we thought this would be a game of big plays, and there's one of them. Upfield, point after, is good. And Dallas with a 7-3 lead. The previous longest run of the season for Herschel Walker was 34 yards. You know, that's a career long of 84.
You know, the funny thing about it is, talking to him yesterday, I said, what is your favorite sport? He said, track is my favorite sport. And it came into play that time, the way he ran that 80-yard sprint for the touchdown.
Well, he wants to go back competitively in the track circuit.
Made any ground.
No, he didn't. Well, this guy has been timed in the 40 in 4.22. He and Mike Sherrard are both in that category. They have the skilled people here, Hank. They get the rest of it together, they'll be right back.
Well, you know, there's no question about the fact that they're excited about this talent. And you know, the funny thing, talking to Buddy Ryan yesterday, I said, what do you have to do to win this game? He said, we have to do a good job of tackling in the open field. They didn't do it on that last run.
Junior Totalatasi will bring it out. And a good second effort gets him close to the 20-yard line. Garth Jacks is outstanding special teams player for the Cowboys, up to make the stop. And so Philadelphia now trailing for the first time in this game 7-3 because of this man, Herschel Walker. He loves that atmosphere of track. He likes to psych guys out, he says, when he gets to that starting line. Next Sunday on CBS, NFL doubleheader on the final week of the regular season. It all starts at the NFL Today, 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern, followed by either Washington at Philadelphia or New Orleans at Minnesota in Game 1. Be sure now to check your local listings for the game in your area. There'll be a second game of that doubleheader, which we'll talk about in just a moment. From the 20-yard line now, Kavanaugh over the middle and thrown behind the intended receiver, Keith Byers. Steve Pallur says, let's call that play again. We'll just give it to Herschel, let him go 84 yards. The second half of that doubleheader, by the way, will be the Bears taking on the Cowboys right here in Texas Stadium. They'd like to have some revenge, that last year's loss of 44-0. Well, Hank, Herschel Walker is impressive, isn't he? Not only on the football field, but off the field. We talked to him, very gracious. And he's got the combination of that speed and power.
It's hard to defense, great ability and tremendous speed.
Here is Tony. Tony with a 5-yard pickup, brings it out to the 25. It'll be 3rd down 5 as you see the time remaining in this first quarter. Isn't it interesting, though, Coach? We've done several Eagle games this year, and there's always seems to be the big plays. That's the kind of defense they play.
Well, it's no accident. You know, I think every time you play the Eagles, if you're going to win the game, it's always going to be a game of big plays because they play man-for-man coverage. They play a very aggressive kind of defense, and as a result, you're not going to run and have 12-play drives. It's going to be a big play situation.
Buddy Ryan's team trailing 7-3. Our touchdown run at the end of the first quarter, giving the Cowboys 7-3 lead. That run was the second longest tying Tony Dorsett in Dallas Cowboy history. Dorsett had an 84-yarder back in '77 against the Eagles.
We talked at the outset of the game, Gary, about the fact that the Eagles had to do a great job on 1st and 10. So far, they've had the ball on 8 first down opportunities, and it's only averaged 2.9. Not good enough. They're not going to win the game with that kind of a deal on 1st and 10.
Still continues to drizzle here as we began this second quarter of play. On the 25, 3rd down now. 5 yards over the middle. Garrity makes the catch. Here he goes. Garrity across the 50 to the 49 of Dallas. 27-yard gain on the play. Johnny Holloway made the stop. And Garrity, who does not have the blazing speed with the great hands, makes the first down. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Week 15 in the National Football League. The Dallas Cowboys hanging on to their faint playoff hopes with a 7-3 lead after 1 quarter of play. McFadden with a 26-yard field goal, and Herschel Walker with a brilliant 84-yard touchdown run. And that's where we stand right now. I'm Gary Bender along with the coach, Hank Stram. After a 27-yard completion now, the Eagles have a first down. And here is Tony advancing to the 45-yard line. Let's go back now and recap that first quarter. Setting up the first field goal for the Eagles was this pass from Cavanaugh to Tony, which covered 47 yards.
Yeah, Tony runs a flat and brings Jesse Penn, the linebacker, up, then goes right behind him, and is finally, he cuts back to the inside and finally tackled by Penn. That was Herschel Walker.
That drive covered 99 yards in 3 plays. It took only 27 seconds. On a second down, Tony runs into a lot of congestion that time as he advances close to the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd down 5 now for Philadelphia. Ron Johnson, number 85, will check in at wide receiver now for Philadelphia. As also making some changes, the Cowboys, they like to get Don Schmerick, number 60, in there on an apparent passing situation, which we have right now. 3rd down. 5 yards to go.
On the 4-man line again, 7 defensive backs. They get a 4-man rush this time, and not 7 or 6.
Jeffcoat misses on Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh coming back to the football, and the catch is made by Kenny Jackson. And that's some pretty good reaction by Jackson. A difficult catch, a first down catch of 10 yards. And Hank, I'm impressed how Cavanaugh is buying some time back there.
Yeah, he really has done much better than people thought he would do. He runs to the left, throws the ball to Jackson. And, of course, you know, this team gets a lot of practice coming back to the quarterback because of Cunningham. So they reacted spontaneously on that last play. Jackson came back for the ball. That was the key. And they make a big interception, 1st and 10.
Hank, I think that's an excellent example. I think the team is looking for things now because Cunningham has kept them alert.
You're right. Exactly right.
Cavanaugh now 4 of 8 for 87 yards. That 10-yard completion for the first down. Here's Byers and Randy White. White playing a strong first half. A loss on the play, back to the 35-yard line. 12th year man out of Maryland.
Watch Randy White in the middle of the screen, number 54. Hayden is trying to block him, overruns him, and he gets right across the line of scrimmage, gets penetration, and makes the play. I tell you, he is something special, which everybody knows. That's obvious. But he is still a great player.
Hank, what about the age of that defensive line? You've got Jones and Dutton at 35, White at 33.
Well, I think, you know, their teacher, Ernie Stotner, played until he was 39. So I think he's impressed with guys in this category because he likes experience, and that's why they're still playing, but they're still playing well.
Second down now, 12 yards to go. Byers again is going to be thrown down. This time it's Eugene Lockhart along with Mike Hegman. Lockhart, number 56, told me, he says, I'm starting to see things now. I'm starting to feel comfortable in this defense.
Well, now he's coming to his left. And then it starts to cave in. He tries to cut back. Lockhart misses him. And then you got Hegman coming in for the backside, number 58, and he finally makes the tackle.
Third down now, 13 yards to go for Philadelphia.
You know what's happening? The Cowboys are playing the game on the other side of the football. They're playing the game in the Eagles' side of the football, and that's why they're having trouble running.
Well, that's been a problem all year long.
Look at all the room they got on the right side from the passing standpoint, and also something in the middle.
Well, that's where they're going. Rolling right, Kavanaugh on 3rd and 13 on target. First down, that's Mike Quick. Quick has been slowed this week by the flu, but he makes that catch. 17-yard completion, and the Eagles continue their drive.
Kavanaugh has settled down very obviously, and he's throwing much better. He's got more confidence. He's moving the pocket, getting away from all that inside rush, and throws the ball beautifully on the outside to Quick, who breaks away from the defensive back and makes the play, runs out of bounds. First down, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia now is 5 of 8 on third down conversions. Quick has just been brilliant. He's had 2 straight 100-yard days. In the last 4 games, he's caught 22 passes. He is trouble. From the 20 now. First down, Philadelphia.
See if they run right here. If they run, well, they're going to throw the ball.
Kavanaugh, you said it. He looks confident back there. Now scrambling around. Jones giving chase. Look out. That'll be the 3rd sack of the game. Jeffcoat and Kevin Brooks, number 99, who they're going to take a long look at today, who's been hurt. He was out early in the year with some knee difficulty, their number 1 draft pick a year ago. And that time Kavanaugh just had to go down and protect himself.
You know, Conwell that time, the right tackle, did a good job. He missed the block, and then he came around from the outside, got a good angle. But in the meantime, why, as you mentioned, Kevin Brooks got penetration, number 99, and made the tackle.
Second down now, long yardage to go. 18 yards, 2nd and 18.
I see a draw here. They haven't run a draw as much as they try to throw the football. They might run a draw play here. Let's see. No, they're going to move the pocket again, going left.
Kavanaugh, and he's in trouble again. He had that one pump, and then all of a sudden the roof caved in. Jim Jeffcoat was there. You can see Jeffcoat moving so well. He was recruited at Arizona State by Frank Cush, then drafted in the 1st round in '83, and they feel he's having a Pro Bowl type year.
Well, they even double teamed him that time. Look at Tony blocking from the outside. They give him a little double dip job, but there's no place to throw the football, and Kavanaugh is too close to the line of scrimmage, has no place to escape, and that's why he got pinned in and got sacked on the play. If you're going to roll and move the pocket, you got to get good depth. You got to get back there 7, 8, 9 yards deep so he can see everything, and he didn't do that time and got caught.
He rolled right into the mess, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
3rd down, 23 now. They need to make it to the 10 for a 1st and goal. Kavanaugh, and it's almost intercepted. Michael Downs, on the pass intended for Kenny Jackson, had the angle on the football, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
The great thing about it is, too, Manny Hendricks, number 45, came over and tried to help on the play, so he was double teamed. Once the ball was thrown in the air, there you see it. You see it, Downs does a good job, almost made the interception, but he also had help there from Manny Hendricks, number 45.
Now McFadden, who earlier kicked a 26-yard field goal, is going to attempt one of 50. He has missed 8 straight from 40 yards plus.
Well, the percentages are in his favor. He's allowed to bang one from here.
I like your optimism, Coach. He's got enough on this one. That's got enough distance. It's good. And McFadden is overjoyed. He's being picked up and carried around out there by Telchik, his holder. That might be a big breakthrough for this man. McFadden has really gotten down on himself, but what an uplifting experience that should be.
The start.
This one.
Well, the great thing about the kick, he really bore down on it, kept his head still. Not down, but still. Follow through. Look at the great reaction. Look at Telchik now. Watch him. Pick him up. There he is. Picks him up. Brings him back. Puts him on his shoulder. Very, very happy for Paul McFadden.
Boy, it's either feast or famine, isn't it, when you're a kicker? High kick. He had a 52-yarder previous to this season, so it's not his career high. And coming out of there in great shape for the Cowboys is Robert Levette, and he has it out to the 41. That'll be a 34-yard kickoff return. So now Pallure, whose lead has been cut to 1, will come out for the Dallas Cowboys. Steve Pallure came in relief at the 5th and 6th game of the season. Played brilliantly when Danny White was hurt. Then when White went out for the rest of the year, he was put into the starting role. And losing some of those tough games, losing Dorsett and Walker to injuries that had slowed him, started to lose that confidence. And as an end result, this entire team has struggled since then. And as Tom Landry put it, kind of had the heart taken out of us. Right now, their team with a 7-6 lead, 8:55 to go in this first half. Pallure to Walker, and he may have trapped that one, did he? Nope. Let's see. Nope, incomplete. He did trap it. Well, we mentioned that the Cowboys have slim playoff hopes, and a lot of it hinges on what happens to San Francisco. As you can see, they are trailing New England. What has to happen is the Cowboys have to win today and next week. 2 losses have to occur by the 49ers and 1 by Minnesota. That's a lot of combinations, Hank, to get into the playoffs. But as they said, we're just playing right now to win today, and then we'll see what happens next week. Pulling for New England, obviously, to beat the 49ers. From the 40-yard line now, 2nd down 10. Dorsett, and he got a yard, and that's all. Good reaction that time by the green shirts. To the 41, will bring up 3rd down, and still 9 yards to go for Dallas.
It was the old counterplay that time, pulling the right guard Kerr and Posderick. And that's a tough play to run against the Eagles because they get such good penetration, especially from their front 3.
Well, that forward wall with Reggie White, Ken Clark, Greg Brown is excellent. And then the rookie Reggie Singletary has also contributed up front. They have on this football team a remarkable number of players 3 years or less, 31 of them, to show you how young this Philadelphia team is. On a 3rd and 9 from the shotgun, Pallure. Backside, Brown coming in. Here's Waters, almost had the interception. Andre Waters, who has 6 for the year, almost had number 7. He's been the big surprise this year. He replaced Ray Ellis at that strong safety spot, and this week, Buddy Ryan said he's one of 4 players he thought should make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, and he's a great tackler. He plays, he's like a linebacker playing safety, but in conjunction with that same thought, look at that that time he's back there in good shape and really should have made the interception. It looked like he might have jumped a little bit too soon. It looked like the timing was off.
Saxon will come in and punt now for the Cowboys. Garrity is back now for Philadelphia. He had that 76-yard return 2 weeks ago against the Los Angeles Raiders. Big rush. Saxon hit it very poorly. And it hit Evan Cooper. Cooper hit from behind. They're going to bring the ball back out to the 30 where it hit him. And we have a man shaken up now for Philadelphia. It's the man we were just talking about, Andre Waters. He's down back at the 32. There he is. Reggie White getting him up. So not a good punt by Dallas. The Eagles have pretty good field position. They have the football trailing by 1. And he was holding it when he came off, but he's going to be able to continue. The punt setting it up at the 25-yard line. The Eagles trailing by 1, 7-6. There he is. He's showing us where he's hurt, Hank.
Yeah, it looked like he might have tried to break the fall, and in the process maybe jammed his hand a little bit. It seems to be okay.
So Kavanaugh will have his team at the 25-yard line with 7:51 left in the first half. Anthony Toney wedges it forward for a 5-yard gain to the 30. Lockhart, number 56, making the stop.
Watch Nick Hayden, the left guard. He gets a good push. This time on number 54, Randy White. But in spite of that, Randy White is able to fall off the block and make the tackle, but he still made some yardage on the play. Not bad surge on the part of Nick Hayden on the last play. Got the ball good.
Shows you, Hank, how you got to stick with people, don't you?
Yeah, you got to put the fly paper on the front of your shirt and make them stick.
Second down, 5. Cavanaugh going up top, quick, bumps Ron Fellows, and the ball is underthrown. Quick and Fellows ran into each other about at the 40-yard line. Ball underthrown. That's where they miss Cunningham, Hank, because Randall, he has that strong arm. Cavanaugh not known for the rifle-type arm. That time underthrown, and it'll bring it back. Third down, 5.
The big thing with a guy like Quick, if you don't have a strong arm, you have to have great anticipation and get rid of the ball quick enough so he can run underneath the ball. He waited too long to throw it that time. Of course, Randall Cunningham throws it, he throws it a mile. And I talked to him on the field before the game, and he said, my thumb is very sore. I cannot take a snap, and I doubt if I'll be able to play.
Only way they could use him, they're talking about, is moving to the shotgun, possibly.
Yeah, but he said it even hurt when he gripped the ball.
Third down, 5. Cavanaugh under pressure. Jackson almost made the catch. Like he was climbing a stepladder that time. Ron Fellows defending on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
See, that kind of a ball has to be thrown at the numbers. It was thrown way too high. And as a result, in most cases, if you throw it high and it tips, it winds up being an interception, but it has to be thrown at the numbers.
So Philadelphia will have to get rid of the football at the 7:03 mark. Well, Cavanaugh has not played all that much. Coming into this game, he'd attempted only 31 passes. Pressed into the starting role as John Telchik will go back. Here is Gordon Banks. He's taken over the punt return duties. They had Robert Levette earlier in the year. Not especially high. There's a penalty flag as Banks has it inside the 30. And he'll be dropped just about at that point at the 30-yard line. Let's check the penalty out after a 41-yard punt that time by Telchik. It's going to go, I believe, against Philadelphia. Started to signal that way anyway. I think we have 2 penalty flags.
Well, they're talking about it. But, one was on the Eagles. Now, you don't know what the other one was.
Right now, the line of scrimmage would be the 30-yard line if it stands. And we'll get it all explained right now.
There's an illegal motion on the offense, number 95, and on the kick return team, number 23, there was an offensive holding. It will be replayed, 4th down.
So forget that play. We'll just go back and do it over again.
It's amazing how many re-kicks you have during the course of the season and during the course of the game.
Well, Buddy Ryan, 52 years of age, signed a 5-year contract with the Eagles. Called it his 5-year plan to reach the Super Bowl. And Hank, I'll tell you something. They may be 4-9-1, but there's some good things happening in this Philadelphia team.
Well, I'm going to tell you something too, Gary. I think every year, every 2 years, once in a while, somebody comes into the National Football League and is a dominant factor in the trend of the game. I don't think any one person has had more of an influence on the trend in professional football defensively the last 2 years than Buddy Ryan.
He makes you prepare a little extra, doesn't he?
Well, it isn't that. It is everybody in the league is doing something, some phase of what he's doing defensively.
Here's Telchik kicking again. Banks just about where they were the last time. This time a 48-yard punt. They end up almost in the identical spot. Jody Schultz made the stop. 7-6 Dallas. They're showing you their quick strike power. Coach, Tom Landry's talking about getting the momentum back. Thus far, has any of that started to creep into this game, you think?
No, I don't think in this kind of a game you can really establish any momentum because it's a big play game. You're going to look bad on some, it's going to be a taffy pull. You're going to look bad on some plays, and all of a sudden, bang, you're going to make a big play. And you have to understand that's the kind of a game this is going to be.
And it kind of gives you a funny rhythm, doesn't it?
There is no rhythm.
The time of possession, we're going to put it up graphically for you to show dramatically how many more minutes Philadelphia's had the football. On a first down carry out to the 35-yard line comes the Cowboys. Mike Reichenbach along with Reggie White making the stop. There's what we were talking about. 16:33, but what doesn't show there is an 84-yard run by Herschel Walker.
And running at that Philadelphia defense is like throwing popcorn at a battleship. You know, I tell you, it doesn't do much good.
Popcorn at a battleship. From the 35-yard line now, second down, 6 yards to go. Dorsett looking for some place to go. Nice little ad-lib effort. Very close to the first down out to the 40. Gary Cobb, number 50, made the stop. Cobb was originally with the Dallas Cowboys. He was a 9th-round draft pick in '79, went to the Lions, now playing very effectively for the Eagles. It's going to be a yard short of the first down.
Now, Dorsett was really trying to set up something to the backside. And he gets over here to the right side, and look at, he thinks he's, oh, no, he did. We don't get that part of it, but he finally sees a seam and gets the most out of the play as he possibly can. And I think that's what the great backs do. They stretch the 2 3-yard gains and the 5 and 6 and 7-yard gains. That's why he is such a great running back.
Talk about him being such a good student of the game. Third down, less than a yard to go. Cosby comes in motion. Here's Walker. Pretty tough to stop that guy in that kind of a situation. Walker bringing it out to the 44-yard line. First down for Dallas. Reggie Singletary making the stop for Philadelphia.
Watch the surge of the offensive line. Kerr coming off the ball. It's a counter play. They get a good surge at the line of scrimmage, and Walker is able to pop through there in good shape for the necessary yardage and the first down.
Line of scrimmage just across the 43. There's what's been happening, Coach, on first down. What a dramatic difference.
Yeah, it's amazing.
To Dorsett. Flag on the play. He's to the 40, to the 30, and he'll go out of bounds at the 27, but the penalty flag at the 50-yard line.
Looks like a holding penalty, Gary. Anytime they drop it in that area, it's usually holding.
Boy, he's something to watch, though. When Dorsett gets into the open field, it just seems like everybody else is paralyzed. He just goes right by him, and it's going to come back. Tony Dorsett, who appears as though will not have his first 1,000-yard rushing year since, believe it or not, his junior year in high school.
Holding, number 68.
That's a 30-yard run wiped out by Tony Dorsett, as the holding call will bring it back to the 34. He's missed 3 games plagued by ankle and knee problems, and Hank, amazingly, he'd missed only 3 times in the first 9 years. That's great durability.
Well, you know, the amazing thing, too, about him is that, he has a great deal of pride in what the Dallas Cowboys have been able to achieve all these years, and it really hurts him. He said, I saw a little interview with him on the television the other day. He said, really, we lose a game, and I'm embarrassed to go out any place and leave the house. He said, I'm so ashamed that we didn't play well and we didn't win. Everybody expects us to win. We're not doing that, and I'm ashamed of it.
After the penalty now, first and 20. Pallur trying to set up a screen over the middle, but Walker can't hang on. That was too tall, so he tried to go up, could not bring it down. I think that's an interesting point. You know, sometimes you have success for so long, as you know, they've had this long run of success, and you assume it's automatically going to happen every year, and then it doesn't, and boy, how it changes things.
Well, the big thing is, I think, realistically, you have to realize that around the league, the competition is pretty evenly distributed as far as talent is concerned, and as a result, you lose a couple of top people, especially great people like Dorsett and Walker and some of the other guys they've lost, and it makes a dramatic difference in the way you play. There's no question about it.
20 winning seasons in a row. Only the Bruins of Boston are even close to him right now. They have a string of 19 winning years in a row. Pallur, as he throws that ball, had his arm hit, and it's going to be intercepted by Terry Hogue. Terry Hogue will be dropped at the 43-yard line. What happened when Pallur released the ball? Reggie White made contact with him. The ball was underthrown, and it's a 19-yard return on the interception by Terry Hogue.
And the great thing about Hogue was he doesn't have great speed, but he has terrific presence. And the one thing he knew, he was going to get as much as he possibly could, and he wasn't going to fumble the football. He had great control of the ball. In fact, he's still hanging on to it.
He's going to take it home with him. Yeah. Hogue was a teammate of Herschel Walker's at Georgia. I asked Herschel about Terry Hogue, and he said he was a character builder. He made everybody around him a better football player. His coach said he was the finest defensive back he'd ever had at Georgia, and they've had some good ones. First down now at the 44 for Philadelphia. Double pump by Cavanaugh. Quick is there, and it's intercepted. Beautiful timing by Michael Downs. That's his 6th interception. Quick is shaken up. He's down on one knee at the 15-yard line. He is limping. Boy, you talk about timing on a play.
Well, he was laying in the bushes. He was waiting for that thing. Once it got up in the air, look, he makes the pump, and then he throws it, hangs it up there way, way too long. And look at him come over for the ball. The ball's a little short. Michael Downs comes over for the weak safety position and sucks it up like he's got a big backer sweeper in his pocket. But the ball was hanging up there too long, Gary, and that was the reason it was intercepted, and Downs had a lot of time to come over and make the catch.
His 6th of the year, his 6th interception. He had 7 interceptions in 84 and 81, which were career highs. Downs, a former free agent out of Rice, 6th-year man. As we mentioned, Quick, I don't know what he did. It looked like he landed on his leg in a peculiar fashion, and he is now being looked over and assisted to the near side. Boy, that was either feast or famine, wasn't it? That ball had been just a little further, Quick would have gone the other way.
Well, it was man-for-man coverage, but the free safety was free. They had help in the middle, and the ball hung up there so long that he had a chance to recover. And I think once the ball is thrown, a good defensive back, if he has anticipation, is going to be able to cover 20 yards when that ball is thrown, and that's exactly what he did.
So Downs follows an interception by Terry Hogue. Dallas has only 15 yards passing in this game, 143 rushing. Now they're going to try to add to that rushing advantage as Dorsett looks like he may have lost a yard on that play to the 20-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down. There's Quick. They're looking him over. As we mentioned, Quick had the flu this week. Not feeling well at all. What a tremendous year he has been having. There's an up-to-date statistical survey on him. When you have Quick and Jackson, just put that ball up and let them run under it.
Yeah, they're both airplanes. They can both fly, and as a result, you better be in good position to make the play.
Look at this. 49ers now jumped on top of New England. Obviously, the Cowboys following that with a great deal of interest. They need 49ers to lose that one. And here's Pallure. Somehow got out of that jam. Seth Joyner's after him, and they're going to ground him at the 27-yard line. Pallure avoided a long loss on the play, Hank. Actually converted it into some yardage. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Andre Waters came in there late and really gave him a shot. Watch him now come back into the pocket. Fake inside, and Joyner really took a whiff of the fake inside, but he couldn't get rid of the ball because of the pressure inside by Clark, number 71. He goes to the outside, and there's Joyner again coming in from the inside and making the tackle.
Seth Joyner's a big surprise. Rookie, 8th-round draft pick out of Texas, El Paso, and the best way Buddy Ryan put it is, he's a player. 3rd down, 5 now for Dallas. Dorsett and Walker out of the eye. Play action by Pallure. Wide open. Herschel Walker. And Walker across the 35 to the 36. Was he tough coming out of the backfield? That's a 10-yard completion. He's almost unstoppable.
Well, that's what you like. You like to get a big back out in the open field, and with a little defensive back play action, he's in the flat. Now a little defensive back has to try to make the tackle. See, and here he goes downfield and leaps over the top of Roynell Young. But again, one-on-one, he is murder in the open field.
We've come to the 2-minute warning here at Texas Stadium. Tom Landry's team trying to break a 3-game losing for the last 2 minutes of this first half. They have a 1st down now at the 36-yard line. Dallas needing to win here and next week, and then get some help to try to remain in the playoffs or be eliminated for the 2nd time in 3 years. Renfro goes in motion. Pallure back. Protection is there.
It should be an interception.
And 2 men fighting over the ball. Fouls number 29, Waters number 20. They arrived there at the same time, and as an end result, they kind of bumped each other off the football.
Well, they had a double coverage with a safety free, and they got a good jump on the ball. Look at Fouls. He has a good angle. Waters coming in from the safety position to help out in the middle. They both had a shot at the ball, but collided a little bit, and the ball went right through there for 2 points in the basket. Here you see it again. Look at, they got great position on the ball. And because they're so close together, why either one of them make the catch. It looks like they're a little concerned about a collision, and either one of them were able really to make that play.
I tell you what, though, they had Sherrard covered all the way, and he's got that blazing speed. Quick, by the way, suffered a bruised right knee. He may return, we're not sure. Fleur now 3 of 10 for 33 yards and interception, and they're going to stop this one. The crowd here not very happy about the offensive effort. It's going to be another delay of game call. That's the second now against Dallas. Boy, inexperience at a quarterback spot can really hurt you. And right now, Fleur having difficult time.
Play of the game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Down will be replayed.
Yeah, the only problem is that the guy that gets all the blame for that kind of a play is the quarterback, and yet he's waiting for the plays to come in from the sideline, Gary, and as a result, if they don't get him in there quickly enough, why there's going to be a problem. They're not going to run out of time. That's what happened on the play.
Passing-wise, only 25 yards thus far for Dallas. Yeah, it comes from Paul Hackett down to Tom Landry, and then the play signaled in, wig-wagged in, whatever you want to call it, to Steve Fleur. Anyway, now it's second down, 15. Trying to set up the screen, and he's got it to Herschel Walker. The screen up the middle gets Walker almost to the first down marker. He's a couple of yards short to the 44-yard line. They tried to set that up earlier, and they threw it too high. This time they got the connection, and it's a 3rd down 2 now for Dallas.
I mentioned this before, but Buddy said we have to tackle well against these two great backs. And they haven't done a good job of trying to tackle Walker especially, and of course he makes you miss.
Well, that's right. He's made a lot of people miss, and even when you hit him sometimes you wish you'd missed him, right?
You're right.
3rd and 2 now for Dallas. Minute 11 left in the first down. Fleur's got time. Dumps it up, and that time Walker took his eyes off the ball. He was looking at the man coming up on him, Waters, and he dropped it.
You know, I'm surprised that Dallas hasn't been able to take better use of Cosby, because Cobb is playing him man for man. You got a linebacker on him, and Cobb that time played him very, very well. Didn't throw the ball to him, but maybe that's why they're not throwing the ball to him, because Cobb has really been all over him anytime he's released downfield.
Well, they wanted to resurrect him today. He has only 27 catches after catching 64 a year ago, and they said that he's really been a victim of really throwing to the back so much this year. They have not looked to number 84 that much. 3 straight years in the Pro Bowl, and his numbers are down. This guy's numbers are down too. That's not a very good punting average. For the year, he's been averaging 40.9. Big rush. Reggie White was there. The ball is going to kick and go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It'll give us an opportunity to remind you that coming up at halftime on the NFL today, Brent Irv and Dick Vermeil, the scores and highlights. Dick Vermeil will take a look at the new shuffle in Chicago, the quarterback shuffle. Working with Dick earlier this year, Hank, in a college football game, he said that the year they made it to the Super Bowl, the one game they pointed for in the preseason was Dallas. They were having a tough time beating them, did that year, and then eventually got into the Super Bowl opposite the Raiders.
Well, you know, at that time, period of time, I think it was very obvious that anybody was going to make anything go with their respective teams. You had to go through Dallas to make it happen.
The road to the Super Bowl came through here. By the way, Mike Quick is back into the football game, bruised knee and all. Cavanaugh back. Completed to Tatalatasi. Tatalatasi will pick up maybe 2 yards on the play out to the 25. We're going to have to hurry now with 44 seconds left in the first half.
They're doubling the outside people, and something inside would maybe be appropriate if they can get the ball in there.
Second down, make it 7. Here's Tatalatasi trying to get wide. The rookie from Washington State to the 30. 2 yards short of the first down. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and timeout is going to be called now by Philadelphia.
People wonder why they run that kind of a play. Very simply, they got 7 defensive backs and only 4 linebackers, 4 linemen. As a result, they're making the defensive back make an open field tackle with big linemen out in front, and as a result, it's a good call.
1964, they've won 12 division titles, 5 NFC titles, and a record 5 Super Bowls, winning 2 of them. His team struggling, but the general consensus is, Hank, that he's excited about this football team. With some adjustments by next season, they'll be right back in it.
Well, he indicated that when we talked to him yesterday. You know, he was very excited about the fact he's disappointed. Somehow, some way, they have to get out of the slump. but he feels good about what the potential of this team is, and I don't think there's any chance in the world. A lot of people speculate that maybe he won't be back next year. No way. He'll be back. No question.
Couldn't agree more. Third down, a yard to go now from the 30. 30 seconds left. Philadelphia has 2 timeouts remaining. And they'll wedge that one out. Looks like they've got enough for the first down. Tony hitting off the left-hand side. It is a first down to the 34. You see the time remaining in the first half. 7-6. Dallas with the lead on the 84-yard touchdown run of Herschel Walker.
That time the Cowboys were running off the field, and they waited for him to get off the field instead of calling a play.
Here's Todd Latasi trying to get out of bounds. Can't. Dropped at the 41-yard line, and Philadelphia will use another timeout. That'll stop it with 2 seconds left to go, and 1 timeout remaining for the Eagles.
Ordinarily, in a situation like this, they might try to use the old Ben play, the Big Ben play, with 3 wide receivers on one side and throw the ball downfield. But I don't know whether they'll do that with Kavanaugh, with the way he's thrown long here this afternoon. They might not try that. Let's see what they decide to do.
Kavanaugh has not shown the strong arm. There was some speculation that he was having some arm trouble, but in talking to the coaches and everyone else says that's not true at all.
Well, I talked to him on the field before the game. He said his arm felt great. He was ready to play, and he was very excited about the opportunity. And I think, really, the longer the game goes, I think the better he's going to play.
There was a moment there where he really had some confidence, Hank. They were putting it together, and then they kind of went backwards with some penalties. But his team down by 1 point, and Philadelphia with that quick strike power of Quick and Jackson on the outside, they can hurt you in a hurry.
Well, I think what happens to you if you get rushed and sacked a couple of times, you try to get rid of the ball quickly, and as a result, you lose your rhythm and you never get it in pace, see, in sync.
2 seconds.
They have the 3 wide receivers on the right side.
The old Big Ben. Well, they're sending everybody down anyway.
The old alley-oop shot.
Yep, Ron Johnson closest to the ball, and it's going to be incomplete, and we've come to the end of this first half.
You don't have any rhythm because you wind up